gamers, I think it's time. It's time to take a look into the future of Guild Wars 2. Here we go. This is probably the biggest article, blog post thing we have ever seen from Guild Wars 2 and from ArenaNet. Just to give you guys some spoilers. We're talking, oh yeah, just nothing big. 4th expansion pack confirmed. All Strike mission CM dates confirmed. Living 1 Season 1 is back. Steam launch confirmed. Additional Strike CM with Season 1 also confirmed. Big balance patch next week confirmed. Omega balance patch in June also confirmed, right? Oh yeah, bonus meme. Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons is already outselling Path of Fire for the time after its release, and the player base has doubled over the last few years. So, yeah, Guild Wars 2 actually looking like I'm choking to death on how amazing this is. Guild Wars 2 looking pretty damn awesome right now. So, let's go ahead and look, that's not even it. I haven't even mentioned it all. We haven't talked about World vs. World yet. There's a bit of stuff about World vs. World. There's everything, right? We've got it all in here, guys. It's just too much. I gotta hydrate before we get into this. Hydration is about to kick in, guys. Let's do this. Here we go. Hey, Guild Wars 2 community. It's JT and Colin Johansson here, the studio leadership team at ArenaNet. The past few weeks have been wild. We're absolutely humbled by the reception to Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons. We cannot thank the team enough for their hard work, attention to detail, and their dedication to the studio, the franchise, and our fans. We also want to extend the same gratitude to you, our community. Oh, isn't that sweet, guys? Isn't that sweet? We're here to happily and loudly and emphatically say that Guild Wars 2 has a bright future ahead of it. So, since then, it's been last July, we said that we're making some big changes at the studio that are necessary to make our ambitious goals a reality. Since then, we've strengthened our leadership team, worked to improve our communication with all of you, and shipped the 3rd expansion for Guild Wars 2. We've also invested in major foundational long-term projects to ensure the game's future, like DX11, Legendary Armory, and World vs. World restructuring. So, this long-term focus is paying off. We're seeing incredible growth in the community. In fact, the number of active Guild Wars 2 players has more than doubled over the last 3 years. Okay, guys, that is insane, by the way, especially considering we had a 1 year long zero content release. Guild Wars 2 is doing unbelievably well. Now we've got content. What do those numbers end up looking like? This could get absolutely wild. This growth has helped Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons outsell our previous expansion, Path of Fire, right? And I think this is actually really worth noting, guys. That is weird. Weird, guys. Because with MMOs, you typically, well, with any game release, actually, right? Even with movies and stuff, sometimes anyway, is that you'll see like a decline, right? You see this a lot with TV series, right? Like, you won't get the same level of sales. You won't get the same hit every single time. Like, you typically, okay, it doesn't quite work as well as the first one. The fact that End of Dragons is actually kind of climbing up again, that's actually a really big deal. It's a really, really big deal when you think about that from a games industry perspective. That is absolutely massive for this stuff there as well. So yeah, that is very impressive for a game that's 10 years old, right? 10 years old. That's hard to believe. Look at Mata. Okay, she's a doomer, right? No. That's not what this is. Here, how we proceed from here, how we continue this momentum into the future is something we've been spending a lot of time thinking about. Today, we're ready to talk about the next phase. So here we go. We're going to get a few introductions to the new leadership team. So Amy Lou is the executive producer for the how and when of Guild Wars 2 development. She started as a GM and community manager for NCSoft in 2004 and spent 5 years working across NCSoft products. We've got a veteran here. She joined ArenaNet for Guild Wars 2's launch in 2012 and has led many major projects and expansions and coordinated scheduling, staffing, resourcing, project management. Oh my goodness, this is some intense stuff. Amy was also instrumental in helping ArenaNet's audio department. Ooh, well, yeah, definitely putting in the work with that one, actually, with End of Dragons, that's for sure. We all know Grouchy. We know who this guy is, okay? We know who he is. He's responsible for the what and why of Guild Wars development. He started as a Guild Wars content creator and joined the dev team in 2013. Hey, look, there's hope for all of us, huh? allowing us to continue a long tradition of recruiting team members from our passionate player community. Oh, yeah. See, then they created the ArenaNet partner program. They just do it for free now. I am joking, obviously. Josh returned to ArenaNet in early 2021 as the head of live operations for Guild Wars 2 and has helped contribute the growth and improvements to communication we've seen over last year. You're damn right. And bear in mind, now we're seeing game director. Now we're talking about game director. He's actually ANET leader, guys. Josh Grouch Davis, ArenaNet leader. Very nice. Between Amy, Josh, and the rest of the development team, Guild Wars 2 is in great hands. You'll be hearing a lot more from them going forwards, while we, Colin and JT, focus on operations and high-level leadership at the studio. Take it away, team. So, yeah, Colin and JT, they're just, you know, the cogs and gears, right? The behind-the-scenes gamers, okay? And honestly, the only sad thing about that is we're going to be deprived of Colin's wonderful smile. You really hate to see that. Anyway, I mean, you hate not to see it, I guess. So, let's talk about what we're about to get here. Grab a snack. Well, I've got my tea, so that will have to do. And settle in for a long one. When we set out to build our plans for 2022 and beyond, we spent considerable time looking back on the last 10 years of the game's history, taking stock of where we succeeded and where we fell short. Learning from mistakes. Wow, incredible. We reviewed player and press feedback, spoke to those at the studio who were here for the highs and lows, and dug into the mountains of data covering the spans of the game's operation. At the end of the process, it was clear that there were two key areas we knew we needed to address as part of our plans. Okay, let's have a look. We need to prioritize delivering consistent updates for our players. Yes, okay, I know this sounds crazy, but Guild Wars 2 has really struggled with this, particularly with maintaining multiple game modes. Oh yeah. And it's a good time to evaluate that experience because of, you know, the fact that the game is, well, the main storyline is certainly over, at least concluding for now, before going into the next one. Specifically, how we provide regular content updates to our players and what those updates contain. This means continuing to sell compelling stories that expand the world of Tyria while providing a better experience for those who enjoy game modes such as World vs. World, Player vs. Player, and endgame group content. Oh, you love to see that. So what are they saying here? So they're saying exactly what I was talking about, right? They're looking to try and maintain all of the game modes rather than just having everything be living world. And then if you don't play living world or you're into the story, you're just like scavenging for scraps. Now they're going to be trying to maintain all these simultaneously, so you won't have to wait like 3 years for a piece of content that is actually replayable. It isn't just basically like dialogue and story, which is all well and good, but you do need a little bit of gameplay to back that up sometimes, okay? That's big. Second, it's important that our plans allow our team to maintain a healthy work-life balance. This is true, and you know, I think this might be kind of leaning into some of the Season 1 stuff, actually, some of the criticism of Season 1, because that was no mercy, right? Like, every 2 weeks, they were releasing content. I imagine that's a lot of fun if you're a developer, not where you want to be. And I imagine that, yeah, Guild Wars 2 has been a very hard game to develop, right? They certainly push the limits of what it means to have, like, this high-fidelity stuff, and then you're trying to develop expansions at the same time. Yeah, that's pretty intense. And yeah, look, if the morale is low, guys, how are you going to make anything, guys? It's impossible. You got to have the morale high. It's good stuff. This will help ensure that the exceptional team behind the Guild Wars 2 End Dragons expansion will continue to be happy at ArenaNet for years to come. Hell yeah. Our work on this front will largely be invisible to you, and we'll mostly focus on improving our planning and day-to-day development processes. Look, that's that restructuring we've heard about so many times. Okay, but hey, look, no, they're just being efficient and they're bringing the energy. Now let's shift gears and talk what the future is. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's get to the meat. Let's get to the juice. Here's the juice. Full steam ahead. So, bit of a spoiler there, but yeah, guys, you know, we've heard about Steam for a while, but Guild Wars 2 is finally actually looking to go ahead on Steam. Okay, oh yes indeed. One of our top priorities as a studio is getting Guild Wars 2 ready for release on Steam and introducing the world of Tyria to an entirely new audience of gamers. Now, why is that relevant? What does that mean? Well, here's the thing. You can only buy Guild Wars 2 from the Guild Wars 2 website and a few select retailers, right? That's the marketplace for Guild Wars 2. Steam is massive. In fact, Steam, as I understand it, is the biggest distributor of video games in the world. It's the biggest platform for distributing video games. So actually having that as a market is huge, right? The amount of exposure to you know, customers, to consumers on the Steam platform is vast. That is insane. It is the biggest platform. So this, from a growth perspective for ArenaNet, is absolutely massive, just to kind of put it Put it really there. Get some corpers. Get some corpers in the chat. So yeah, big money, big population, massive kind of like built-in, baked-in advertising there, kind of, all that kind of good stuff. You only get to launch on Steam once, and we want to make sure that we do it right. Over the coming months, we'll be wrapping up work on the Steam integration, cleaning up some aspects of the early game experience. Ooh, that's a big one. And ensuring that the game and studio are operationally ready for their new platform launch. We're also working on getting DX11 ready to exit beta and making it the default graphics setting for New Year's. I imagine they want to do that before Steam. In fact, they definitely do, because one of the things that you can definitely get nuked on Steam reviews is, why is the game running at 10 FPS? So I really expect them to do that first, right? We're not ready to commit to a hard date for Steam quite yet, but our hearts are set on launching this year. We'll keep you updated as things progress. Now, this year, well, look, Ender Dragons launched in February, and by February, we mean February 28th, so this could well be December 31st. But yeah, this year is nice. We can't really make any further comment. I mean, obviously, it would be nice if it was... Well, actually, there's one little teeny tiny hint we got, okay? And that was that in the Steam API, the date... that Shaman found this. The date actually shifted for release to August 12th, funnily enough. Honestly, now, again, that could be placeholder. That could just be weird shenanigans going on there. But we could be looking at Steam kind of halfway through the year, right? Or rather, kind of like 2/3 through the year, towards the end of the year here as well. Pretty interesting there to see that piece of information be unleashed. And again, that will be a really big thing, a massive step for the game. And that also kind of puts a bit of a date, actually, on DX11, right? Because, again, I imagine they really want to have DX11 fully ready to go before Steam. So we could be looking at DX11 at the first half of this year, too, which is actually a lot of fun. So, yeah, there you go. Great stuff there. Big, big content. And here's another one. Look, I wanted them to do this. I wanted them to do this. And they're actually doing it. Look, there's a better payoff, so I can say that I'm double right. One of the most frequent pieces of feedback we hear about the new player experience is that it's hard to get into the Elder Dragon storyline without the context of what happened in Living World Season 1. Content that was only available for a brief time in the earliest years of Guild Wars 2. This year, much of Living World Season 1, Scarlet's War, which is what it's known as apparently, will be making a permanent return to Guild Wars 2 through the story journal. Ooh, it's coming back. Now, let's see how that's aged, because I mean, some of it was pretty scuffed, but we'll see what they're doing here. We'll be combining the key story moments and experiences of Living World Season 1 into 5 episodes that we released throughout 2022. 5 episodes, that's about the same as a regular season. Okay, so, you know, so they're going to be merging it all together into these, like, chunks that we've seen before with the way the rest of the game is structured. Our goal is to provide a cohesive bridge between the personal story and Living World Season 2, which is, yeah, look, let me pump the brakes here a bit. Yes, this is a huge problem, especially if you're releasing on Steam. If you release on Steam, guys, and there's like a massive gap in the story that's replaced by a cutscene, right? What the fuck, right? You're like, what the hell is this? Is this a goddamn indie game? This is scuffed. Who the hell is Rox? Who is Braham? Who is Marjorie? Who is Casimir? Who are these people? Who is Scarlet? What the hell happened, right? This, in my opinion, has actually been a massive thorn in the side of Guild Wars 2's early game experience, and I think I'm very happy. I think it's correct to actually go ahead and fix this here as well. But anyway, and also you can get, look, you can get, if you're an AP hunter, you can get the old achievements back. That's actually a really nice touch, because there's actually some kind of unavailable, impossible to get AP, and now it's going to be coming back, which is very, very nice, actually. I love to see it. The first episode, Flame and Frost, will release on April 19th, so that's pretty soon, actually. That's next month. The season will conclude with the return of Battle for Lion's Arch. Oh, yeah. Which will include a new strike mission and challenge mode. So yeah. Oh yeah. Strike missions are already going to be enabled here, and they will be releasing very, very shortly. And that is pretty fucking epic. Okay? That is pretty damn epic with this stuff. Oh yeah. So yeah, that could be Breachmaker, that could be the Scarlet fight as the strike mission. We don't know exactly what that is just yet, but let me just say something. Now, we'll have to see how this turns out, and maybe this is hopium. Maybe this is actually a little bit of hopium here. But it seems to me that they aren't just going to be adding Season 1 back one for one. It's not going to be fixing signposts, right, as it was there. It looks like we may be seeing a bit of a rejuice, right, a bit of a fresh lick of paint on this. Because I'm not going to lie, There's a bit of rose-tinted goggles for Season 1. It was fun and exciting, but it was unbelievably scuffed compared to the content that we get in more modern Guild Wars 2. So be aware of that. I think that we actually might be seeing a little bit of a rejuiced version of Season 1, and that is exciting. And I know that this is basically old content, but bear in mind, a lot of people who play the game now probably won't have played Season 1, so it will appear to be new content for them, and it may even feel new to us as players who have played it, because it might be a bit different, and it will definitely feel new with the Strike mission and CM. And bear in mind, guys, we haven't actually talked about this just yet, but oh yeah, gamers, we actually have all Strike mission CMs confirmed. We'll just, look at this stuff here. All the Strike mission CMs are out by June 7th here, right, for all these new CMs. So we're going to be going into that 5th CM very soon, actually. So you're going to be getting endgame content very reliably and very regularly in Guild Wars 2, especially when the next season of content is going to kick off there as well. So this is actually massive. If you're an endgame PvE player, this is absolutely insane. We're excited for veteran players to be able to revisit the key moments of Living World Season 1 for the first time in nearly 9 years, and to give new players a better narrative introduction into the expansion and Living World content that follows it. Living World Season 1 will be a free addition to the base game for all players, including free accounts forever. I actually think that's a bit of a smart move there, actually, guys. Why? Because then you kind of have the hook into the type of content that you're going to end up paying for in Guild Wars 2, which is that Living World stuff. And it really kind of teases you with the game after level 18, kind of introduces you to the structure of the game after you beat the core game. So that's very good. A nice gesture as well, right? Everyone gets it for free because they're kind of adding it back in there. So even if you miss it, for example, so you're not logging in when it's being added, you'll get this for free anyway, right? So that's really nice. Very, very cool stuff there from ArenaNet. Good gesture, I think. And I think that will play well into Steam as well, right? Because this will be, again, like something that will be big on Steam with like the free-to-play elements of the game. So yeah, very intelligent there from ArenaNet, I think. Love to see it. World vs. World. In the July 2021 ArenaNet Studio update, we said that we view World vs. World as a cornerstone game mode of Guild Wars 2. That statement still holds true for us. And now that Guild Wars 2 Ender Dragons is released, we can further increase our support for World vs. World. Our priorities for World vs. World are largely unchanged from what we talked about in our Future of World vs. World blog post in September of last year. First, we're actively working on addressing population balance within the World vs. World restructuring system. Yes, when's my next test? Gimme, gimme, gimme! In the blog post I mentioned above, we said that we'd be taking a multi-phase approach to building the system. We're still in phase 1 now. Yeah, so this means that alliances are going to be a way out, because if we're in phase 1, it's been a while. I mean, we did have a bit of a break and stuff like that, but still. We just focus on standing up the complex backend infrastructure for the system and redefining the matchmaking algorithm. We've run multiple phase 1 betas over the past few months, and after taking a short break to release Ender Dragons, we'll be getting right back to it. Right now, the team is tracking down an incredibly elusive, long-standing bug that causes queues to reset and throw players back to the end of the line. Something that happens more often during the highly active beta events. So it seems that's actually just like a flat-out bug with World vs. World in general, actually, because they specifically said that it happens more during the active beta, but that means that it appears to happen all the time. That's quite amusing, because that almost implies that it's been there since the start of the game, perhaps, or something like that. I don't know. But, it's good. We're getting that big, elusive bug, okay? Get the elusive insect and smush it down. Second, we need to make World vs. World more rewarding for individuals. We took a small step recently by increasing the speed at which skirmish reward track is completed, but there's much, much more we would like to do, including providing better rewards for active. This is the big one. This is the big one here, guys. World vs. World rewards. Why do they actually, are they actually bad? Actually, no. They aren't. It turns out that it's actually surprisingly close to the reward level of PvP. But why does it feel worse in World vs. Why does it feel so painful? Well, it feels painful because you're just watching the 5-minute ticker. Just, oh God, I've just got to wait another 12 hours to get my rewards. This has been the big issue with World vs. World, right? Is that you don't have any control or influence over how you actually get rewarded, right? Like, doing stuff doesn't do anything in that game mode. This is the key. If they could make this work and make it, for getting player kills, capturing tier 3 objectives, right? Defending stuff, like that type of active participation. If they can improve that reward structure, that is massive for World vs. World. And that will make it a lot more appealing to players who don't play World vs. World. And it's going to feel a lot less soul-crushing for non-World vs. World players, right? You always hear that, oh man, it feels so bad to get my gift of battle. Well, if this changes and you're rewarded for actively engaging in the game, 1, that's going to get more players actually into World vs. World. 2, it's going to be more fun for everyone playing World vs. World, right? And 3, it's going to make people actually kind of play the game in a more interesting way, right? Rather than just like AFKing, right? And just like leeching all the participation. Huge. As we mentioned last year, once population balance and rewards are addressed, our theory is that World vs. World gameplay will see a significant shift. Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about there. And this will definitely be true with alliances. If people care about winning, people are going to go crazy. At that point, we intend to look at very hard at core World vs. World systems, upgrade, scoring, siege, etc., and balance them to ensure that the World vs. World experience is still reflecting our vision. Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes without saying, really. Alliances are going to be a huge deal. It's going to massively change the way people engage with the system. Right now, no one cares about winning. Then people will, because they want to be the swag, XD, XXX, best guild in the game, XX. So that's going to be big. If there is a leaderboard, of course. Speaking of balance, profession balance has a huge impact on the World vs. World experience. Whether you tend to play as a roamer, a Havoc player, or if you choose to run with 49 or more of your closest friends. This brings us to our next area focus. Very funny, by the way, Grouch. Okay, yeah. Profession updates. Balance and maintenance of Guild Wars 2's extensive combat system, including the latest elite specializations released with Ender Dragons, is important for keeping gameplay engaging and varied across PvE, World vs. World, and PvP. Moving forwards, we're making professions and elite specialization updates a higher priority. Yeah, you're putting it mildly there. Okay, that's putting it fucking politely, guys. Holy shit. Okay, anyone yearly balance patch? Anyone with like 9 months of power chrono meta in PvE? How about like 4 years of the same meta in World vs. World? Ooh. Our plan includes quarterly profession updates, with smaller releases in between as we monitor and respond to how the meta in each game mode takes shape. In addition to the number tweaks that you're used to seeing, the team will be revisiting some underpowered and underused weapon skills, traits, or utilities for each profession. Oh, it's music to my ears. Oh my god. I'm listening to an opera right now. It's speaking of love, right? Of adventure, of joy. I mean, they kind of already talked about this a little bit before. We're kind of recapping a little bit here, but look, you better do it, Grouch. You better do it. And, well, it turns out they actually are. We'll be releasing some PvP and World vs. World balance changes in the March 29th update. And our first major profession update will drop on June 28th. So let's actually kind of just unpack that real quick. What are they saying here? So it looks like we're going to be seeing some kind of numbers changes. So probably some tweaks with, I don't know, just basic tweaks on the 29th for PvP and World vs. World. So tuning down some of the overpowered stuff, buffing up some of the underpowered stuff just with numbers. And then we're at now, look, June 28th. The winds are changing. Oh, that is a leak, actually. Grouch has just leaked. I'm actually calling him out. They're changing Winds of Disenchantment. Straight up. I wonder what you guys are doing. You know, the change that I've always wanted to see to Winds, actually, is how it worked in Guild Wars 1. Because for those who don't know, let me actually find it. So, Winds of Disenchantment. This ability in Guild Wars 1 worked a little bit differently. So let me see if I can find it. Oh, no, it's not Winds of Disenchantment. It's more like... Wait, what was it called? It was Air of Disenchantment, right? I think it was like this mesmer skill that yeah, Air of Disenchantment. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Wait, no, yeah. Check this out. Enchantments expire faster on those foes, and I've always said that Bubble is just too polarizing, right? Bubble or Winds of Disenchantment. What it should do, okay, is it should actually reduce boon duration. Right? So instead of like, oh, you can't get boons, it's if you get 10 seconds of might, you get 5 seconds instead, right? I always thought that this was a better design for it. So that might be a little outside the scope of they're just playing with numbers. They might just be like nerfing it a little bit, like maybe making it pulse twice as, not as often or something like that. But to me, this would be like the really, really big change, is if it could do something like that. That will be a huge update to World vs. World, because like this ability has been kind of plaguing World vs. World for a good amount of time. So this would be, to me, a really interesting thing. And you could have like 75% reduction. You could have 50%, right? Whatever. I think it would still be a pretty good skill. Obviously not quite as strong, but to be fair, it has been a meta-defining ability since its release. So, and very hard to balance, right? So I'm just saying, guys, just saying, that will be a pretty good idea. But anyway, exciting stuff there. So that's next week, so stay tuned. End of Dragons continued. Oh, yeah. This month, the team is focused on polishing up Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons by addressing content balance issues, exploits, and bug fixes. Ooh, I like that. That's good. You know, exploits, that's no good. And that means we're talking about rewards, right? Your feedback has been immensely helpful in this regard, and we continue to watch conversations around rewards, meta difficulty, no, elite specializations, and others. Please continue to share your thoughts with us and keep an eye on the forums and our social media channels for updates. Let's go. We're also working, so basically, yeah, well, I mean, I'll just quickly talk about that. They've already buffed the rewards for EOD metas. They're probably going to do it again by the sounds of that because they are a little weak. And again, I mentioned this a little bit in another video here, but the EOD metas are really weird. In a lot of other meta events, you just do the boss, right? You just do Chat Garant, you just do Octovine, you don't do the pre-events. With all of End of Dragons, you have to do the pre-events, right? You must. Otherwise, you don't get to the boss to get the reward. This means that the End of Dragons metas actually need to be inherently more rewarding than other metas for like killing the boss, because if they aren't, then they're never going to pay off time-wise. So I'd actually expect to see some other awards being thrown into this. And I have to say, I would definitely bring strike missions into this as well. I'm a little disappointed that strike missions aren't daily. I was really hoping for that. They're weekly, which in my opinion kind of sucks. I guess they don't want to overload people with too much stuff to do daily, I guess. But I would really like to see stuff like strike missions be made worth to do daily, because they're just like a good activity, much more like the Ice Brood Saga strike missions, because those are very much worth to do daily. And I'd like to see EOD go in that direction as well. That would be cool. I'd also like to see kind of better accessibility towards some of the new stat types as well, like the Dragon and Ritualist gear, because those are amazing, particularly for new players, but they're kind of a pain in the ass to get. So yeah, I'd like to see some more accessibility there, so new players can get their hands on those, at least in an exotic form, and also Ascended as well. But those are kind of my main critiques there. I think the meta of it, I think the Dragon's End meta is actually surprisingly rewarding now if you skip the pre-event, because you can do it in less than 40 minutes now, and get your Summoning Stone for free. But I think it probably needs a bit more work, because of course most groups aren't going to be skipping the pre-event, and I think it should be basically the most rewarding meta in the game, as it is the hardest meta in the game. Poor old Triple Trouble. I still love you, Triple Trouble. One day you'll get a reward buff. But let's get to it. We're also working on finalizing the 4 strike missions challenge modes. The first of which is slated to release on April 19th. Ooh, let's go that soon. We've already had a lot of positive feedback about the design of these encounters, and we're excited to see the community tackle these epic encounters over the next few months. The first new variant for the Generation 3 Legendary Weapons for all weapons will drop on May 24th, themed after the fearsome Elder Dragon Zaitan. Details on how to unlock these variants will become available because there is, yeah, because I don't want to blow the economy up right now, right? Or maybe it's a collection, who knows. Any guesses on what is the second variant will be in June? Oh, I wonder. What could it be? Could it possibly be Mordemoth? Ooh, exciting. And we're happy to confirm that we're working on the next story update for Guild Wars 2, including a new map set in the Cantha region. The story and how we tell it can go in so many interesting directions now that the Elder Dragon threat is addressed. Yes, they're finally freed from this, like, cumbersome story. I think we're going to see them scale it down a lot and deal with more, not kind of like local stories, I guess, in a way, like more localized stories that will be a bit more grounded and probably a bit more separate as well. So you could kind of leap into them and understand them without context. One of the really big issues that the Guild Wars 2 story has always had in my mind is that you're missing out on like 5 years if you're a new player, or 10 years if you're a new player. You know nothing. You don't understand what's going on. So I think some more local stuff, or kind of just totally fresh storylines that have like an arc that goes over a year or so, then a new arc, and doing like that, that'll be really good. In my mind anyway, that is what I would like to see. Now, I do talk about strikes here. This is fun, right? They're actually doing it one at a time here, as you can see here, right? So 8th Blade Hideout Challenge Mode. Then we have May 10th, Zunlai Jade Junkyard, right? Then we have Kaineng on the 24th. Then we have the Harvest Temple. So every 2 weeks, we're getting a new strike mission. That is super exciting. We're going to have this kind of race to worlds first kind of thing going on every single time. And hey, I hope to even make some streams around that. But I think that's really going to keep the excitement up. and have this bit of like little bit of competition going on there. Now, we'll have to see how hard they are, right? We'll have to see how long the race to world's first is actually going to last, obviously. But I'm honestly really excited to try these out. I can't wait to hear more about this. And hopefully we get some, we get a lot of insider info. That would be awesome from Cam or some of the teams. That would be absolutely insane. Would love to see that. Okay, but anyway, that is some big stuff. And here's the overall, here's like it's a roadmap, guys. Okay, here it is. Let's have a look. So we have the Ender Dragons updates here, guys. The CMs, the legendary weapon variants. We have Season 1, Episode 1, and Episode 2. This is going to be in spring 2022. So this is all very soon, right? So obviously you're going to have to wait for the summer. Looks like the summer will probably round out Season 1. We'll probably be done with that by the end of summer, I imagine, which would, funnily enough, line up with Steam, by the way. That's fun. With the kind of leaked Steam date, as it were, from that Shaman. Obviously, you got your Super Adventure Festival. You got your Dragon Bash. We got our balance. We're having a good time here. I mean, this is honestly, it's too much. It's honestly too much, guys. They're blowing everyone away here. And we can kind of look at a quick overview with some dates here as well. We've already got a few things confirmed. So we have, but this is basically, they messed around with some of the balance, right, a little bit. They tweaked it. There were a few tweaks there. That's like the polish. They added the new rewards, right? All that kind of stuff. That is what that is. Super Adventure Festival, that's the next thing coming up on March 29th. So, hey, get your April Fool's memes ready. And this Ender Dragons Polish build, and that's going to be with some PvP and World versus World updates. Oh, yeah. And then after that, we're going to Episode 1 of Season 1 with the CM at the same time. Wombo combo release, goodness me. Then in May, 2 weeks after that, we have Junlai Jade. Okay, awesome. Then we have the next episode. Dude, is this actually packed? Look, we're literally going back to fucking Season 1. Updates every 2 weeks through to June, more or less. Although it's going to be 3 weeks here from June 7th through to June 28th with a massive profession balance update, which is going to be reworks, right? So they're going to be changing mechanics, not just numbers. Another new legendary weapon variant after that too. Oh my god. Now, interestingly enough, it does look like, well, actually, think about this, guys. They're obviously going to want to delay the Season 1 strike anyway, right? Why? Because they want to keep that content chain going. So we could be looking at maybe like August for the end of Season 1 with the new strike mission CM. Or maybe even September, actually. Because it's going to, you can see that we're getting like 1 episode a month here, April, May, and nothing in June. So it will be July, August, September if we're doing 1 episode a month of Season 1, because there's 5 episodes, right? So it'll be a while for that, to get that kind of like grand finale out there. But yeah, so we'll be getting, so in June, we're going to get a strike mission CM. Then it could be September after that, where we get another strike mission CM. And yeah, that's a bit of a wait. I understand that. But still, that's pretty interesting. And then we're presumably going to get like Living Story Season 6. Man, this year is insane, right? This year is absolutely fucking crazy. We have like back-to-back, wall-to-wall content all the way. And that's not talking about, we haven't even talked about World vs. World betas, right? Yeah, we've got apparently some betas coming up in spring as well. Haven't even talked about that. We haven't talked about anything with alliances there. There's even more here. They talked about some new player experience stuff too. They haven't even fit it all in, right? What the hell is going on here? It's completely out of control. ArenaNet is completely off the chain right now. Further transmissions. Further transitions may be difficult. That's the introduction from Command & Conquer General 0 Hour. I always think of that when I hear further transmissions. We've made some significant strides over the last year when it comes to communicating with all of you. Yeah, you could say that again. Studio update blogs, live streams, yes. Roadmaps, postmortems, and more. So slide. They've just introduced us into the morgue, right? Just, cut a few bodies open, right? Really let us in there. It's been very gratifying to see our efforts on this front received so positively by the community, but we want to do more. Moving forwards, we'll be publishing a regular State of the Game blog post to keep you informed on the latest development news, address top concerns within the game and the community, and give you an inside look into the student and the development of Guild Wars 2. I guess that's kind of like this, right? This seems like this is the first one of those. And if that's the case, that is massive. The content of these posts will change with each iteration, but we hope that they become something you look forward to reading and discussing. So Platy Left for us did. Look, I love this. This looks like I'm getting like my quarterly dose, guys, of React content. I love to see it. But yeah, that is epic. And they're kind of hinting that there's more to come here as well. They haven't even been able to drop it all in one go. It's too much. It is just too much. But yeah, this type of stuff I think is really good. You know what I would like to see on top of this? I mean, this obviously is going to be a lot harder and will require a lot more effort, but I would love to see almost like a state of the game live stream, right? Where you get developers on there. You know, you have like an hour-long live stream every 3 months. You have Grouch on there, the rest of the crew, right? I guess it'll be Grouch and Amy, I guess, will be on this, and you just kind of invite other people that you really get that proper connection, right? I love the live streams they did, you know, with CMC, with Ruby, and, you know, Indigo and the whole gang, right? I really like that. I mean, that was really, really cool. I think it was just, you had that kind of connection, right? Player base, studio connection. It was really nice. So, no, I'm just saying, I think that'd be pretty cool. Maybe that's possible. Well, who knows? But yeah, I mean, same thing we did with, you know, the CMC balance chat I did. We had Raymond and Grouch on talk about alliances. That kind of stuff is really cool. And I hope that, you know, we can do more of that in the future because it was unbelievably well received. And I think quite a valuable asset for the community to kind of keep the morale up and get people engaged with the game studio, right? Love to see it. Oh, it's just, I mean, a little footnote. Little footnote here, guys. One last update before we go. We are happy to confirm that there will be a 4th expansion for Guild Wars 2. Yeah. Yeah. We mean it when we say we're focused on the long term. This is a very early confirmation. The earliest we've ever done this, in fact. So don't expect news anytime soon. Expansions take a very long time to develop. Yeah. Plus, there's plenty of cool things. Yeah, we're not done yet. Okay, hang on. Let's not rush. There's plenty of cool things to look forward to between now and then. That's right, gamers. Guild Wars 2 isn't dead. It's not Guild Wars 2 end of development. 4th expansion is confirmed. Now, I am super interested on what they're looking at for a release cycle. So let's imagine, okay, hear me out, guys. Let's imagine that we're doing Season 6. By the looks we're looking, Season 6 is going to be second half of the, you know, it has to be second half of the year, right? We're looking at, it's funny, Sneb guessed this. We're looking at August, September, maybe even October. Wait, hang on. Let me scroll up here. Where's the thing? So, we're not done with Season 1 in May or June. So realistically, Season 1's going to take them July, August, September, realistically. So Season 6 is starting towards the end of this year. That's kind of what we can deduce from looking at this. So let's imagine that Season 6 is taking a year and a half, which is kind of how a season typically goes, right? Or a year and a half. So we go all the way around to the kind of like the nearly end of 2023. We could be looking at X-Pack in 2024, guys. Actually. Yeah, exactly, Stronno. Yeah. So we're kind of looking at late 2024, X-Pack 4. Just by kind of eyeballing this, kind of looking at it, right? Looking at the situation here. Pretty damn interesting stuff. And we had 2026? What do you mean? Right? I think they wouldn't announce it if they weren't going to go into it pretty soon, right? I mean, obviously they want to give people a bit of a hint here, right? Oh, yeah, you know, we're long-term. They want to kind of say, yep, we're doing Guild Wars 2, we're going fucking hard. Right, we're blasting, we're going berserk. All that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's very realistic, right? I mean, they're already thinking about it. They're probably kind of like planning it, working on it, like figuring out what it's going to be, what the features are going to look like. Yeah, I mean, that's... yeah, that would be pretty damn cool, right? Yeah, it could be, like late 2024, early 2025, right? Which is, that's not bad, right? Considering that, you know, we have all this content with the Living World stuff as well. That could very much well be what's happening here. And I do think it is worth noting. I think, yeah, I think Arcane's right. We're getting overly hyped here. We're getting like mega hyped up. I think there is some criticism to be had here that we are going to have to wait a long time for Season 6. However, I do think that it won't be that much of a big deal, to be honest, Arcane. However, because we have all this, we've got the balance patches, we have alliances, right? We have Season 1 coming back polished, so that will be a lot like new content in some way, and a new Strike mission coming packaged with that. Yes, we are going to be waiting a bit for kind of totally new and fresh content. However, I think that the CMs, look, we're not even done with CMs until June, right? So, you know, we still have End of Dragons content being released until June. That's awesome. Okay, we're getting the new legendaries coming out, and we've got the Season 1 stuff, then the eventual new Strike mission, the balance patch, which is going to be new, right? That's going to be new content. But yeah, if we're kind of looking at that kind of September, October for Season 6, right? Whenever that's going to pop up, that's going to be with a Steam release too, that's fun. Or, you know, probably around the same time as the Steam release. I think that is absolutely fine, right? But this is wild. Yeah, like September will be fine, I think. On behalf of the entire ArenaNet team, thank you for your continued support. We sincerely believe that our best years as a studio are ahead of us. A new beginning that starts with Guild Wars 2, End of Dragons. Talk soon, Amy, Colin, Josh, JT, and the Guild Wars 2 team. This is it. Okay, I can't believe it. We're actually here. We have arrived in the year of Guild Wars 2. We're here. This is new ArenaNet. New ArenaNet has arrived. Now, if they can deliver on this, and they must be able to. They've got dates, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. This is the consistency that we've wanted for years from ArenaNet. New Strike mission confirmed. Updates until June, confirmed. World of the Sword, balance, confirmed already with reworks. It's all here. We have wanted this for years. We've wanted this since the beginning of the game, to be honest. Okay? And it's actually happening. I can scarcely believe it. Okay? Absolutely wild. Unbelievable. 2022 and onwards are the years of Guild Wars 2 confirmed. That's what we're dealing with here, gamers. It's not April Fools. Okay, no, it's not there yet. We're still on the 22nd. We're not in April. There's no April Fools. This is it. Honestly, I'm so hyped about this. This is amazing, right? ArenaNet has absolutely knocked out of the park with this. Okay, the roadmap is here. The Giga blog post is here. Like, if you are into Guild Wars 2 or you're thinking about playing Guild Wars 2, then goodness gracious me, this is an amazing time for all of us. I absolutely cannot wait for this stuff. I really hope they deliver on Season 1. That's the only thing that I'm a little worried about is that it hasn't aged that well, so I really hope they're doing a good job of polishing it up. Everything else here is pretty damn incredible. And hey, now I can plan my events around when this stuff is dropping, so that's nice, because that's going to be a little chaotic. But I guess those are probably Tuesdays anyway, right? So it's not too bad. Not too bad indeed. Apparently there's another post. What's this other post here, guys? Have we got some other juice? Okay, the future Guild ArenaNet teases this. Is there anything, are there any other, like, major details I want to be looking at here? New expansion, a new map. Yeah, there's a new map coming with Season 6. Yeah. Steam release. Steam is juicing. Balance content. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, actually, here you go. Oh, yeah, they talk about, yeah. They're just kind of talking about some specific examples here. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Yeah, they're making it do more. They're making Catalyst do more damage again. Very nice. Very nice. Good. Make the play pattern for optimal skill. They're making Catalyst easier, okay, to play. That's pretty interesting stuff as well. Doppelganger is not being fixed, guys. That isn't getting fixed whatsoever. But yeah, they're buffing Catalyst. That's fine. And they're making it easier. That's good. That's good. I love to see it. Yep. They're talking about roles in the game. Nothing too crazy. It's no like really crazy extra leaks in my mind. Just a little bit of extra details, a bit of fleshing out there as well. Actually that is good. That is worth noting, guys. Catalyst mains, Catalyst friends, Elementalist players, fear not this night because the dawn is already coming. You got nuked into oblivion, but Catalyst is getting brought back into the mix. I love to see it. I love to see that content. Very, very nice indeed. Crazy gameplay, crazy content is here. Yes. I mean, wow. What else is there to be said? Nothing. All I can say is buckle up, guys. Leave me some comments on YouTube, okay? I want to hand them over. Hand them over. Like and subscribe as well. Let's do it. Because you're going to want to be on this channel for all the Guild Wars 2 content coming out in 2022. Stay tuned, my friends. Let's go. Wow. Wow. Okay. Insane. Oh, wait, there's something about A/B testing. What's this? Back in 2014, you guys got to meet. There's actually some good content here. We took a massive overhaul approach to revising the new player experience with limited success. And some may argue the changes made there didn't do the game any favors. Yeah, I would agree with that. Davis is about the improvements being planned. This time around, we're primarily looking at making small incremental changes that could add up to big improvements over time. Each of these incremental changes are being deployed as an experiment in an A/B test format, meaning we'll test the changes in the live game with a small number of players, study the results, and then decide to make the change permanent. Further iterate on or remove it from the game. We're making these changes every few weeks with multiple experiments running simultaneously. We'll communicate any permanent additions to the game once they made it through testing. That's very interesting. That seems that they're just going to be doing like very like subtle changes to almost like to the user interface maybe, and to I don't even know what that would look like. That would be like making hearts complete faster, right? Or stuff like that, like making like an arrow that tells you where to go, right? Or changing the way the interface is a little bit. It looks like they're going to be really focusing on how the player interfaces with the game, almost, is the way that seems. You know, or like maybe you level up faster or something like that. And to see if people get stuck on it, or like maybe you get different gear, maybe you start in a different area or something like that, right? Like, or you know, or some kind of other curated element of it. Very interesting content. That is a bit of news there, actually, about the new player experience. I have to say, there's one thing. Yeah, like an in-game tutorial of some kind, maybe. Like, something like that. Yeah, maybe you get an elite... Maybe you unlock your elite spec really early, right? Maybe with, like, some players say, what happens if instead of playing Core Necro, you're actually Reaper, right? At the start of the game, right? And you don't get Core Shroud, you get Reaper Shroud. Or some shit, right? You just randomly unlock that. So it seems like that kind of thing is what they're looking at here, to see what players are going to kind of hook into and what would actually make them connect with the game. So that's very interesting, actually. I will say one thing. Allow me to complain, right? I really do want ArenaNet to rework some of the UI, okay? I do. I want them to look at stuff like the achievement panel here. What the hell is this? Okay? I want them to rework stuff like the gearing panel so it makes more sense to new players. It's very complicated. Like, a lot of the interface stuff, I think I'd like to see it change a bit, like a proper kind of like almost like in-game glossary of everything that's going on. That would be a huge thing. That's probably a little tricky for them. We know how it is with the UI, but I'm just saying, yeah, the LFG, for example, what the fuck is this? Okay, this isn't good. Guild rework. I want to see, you know, make it easy to advertise your guild, join guilds, right? Everything with guilds, right? I want to make it easier to communicate with people, right? Like, that would be huge. And they haven't really talked about that, and it seems they aren't going in that direction. So I will actually have to level that critique at ArenaNet. I do want them to look at that. To me, this is one of the biggest things with the new player experience, is just how weird some of the social features of the game are. I'd like to see a big rework of social features in the game, because right now they're honestly a bit subpar with, you know, where they need to be. I think they do need to be better, particularly seeing as Guild Wars 2 is a game that is focused on massive open world PvE. And the fact that you, and hey, look, I hate to pull that card, guys, but it's kind of in the name Guild Wars. The fact that guilds are a bit, like, scuffed, probably not good, okay? You know, it's not where we want to be. Yeah, proper guild finder, proper memes like that. Okay, that will be huge. That will be, yeah, exactly. Imagine being in a guild. Imagine being in a guild. And so from this, they kind of hint that it's going to be more like little tweaks to how a player first experiences, like what the game is, how they understand how to play the game, which is great, don't get me wrong, but I do think there are other things that really need some love and need some focus from a new player experience standpoint there as well. But there you go. Boom. Yeah, they talk about how quickness and alacrity should be 75% of a regular DPS, but I think that's fair. I think they need to be... One thing they need to be careful with balance, though, is utility. Like, ArenaNet doesn't do a very good job of this, historically. You need to... If you do more damage, you need to have less utility. And if you have more utility, you need to do less damage, right? Like, this is really key, and ArenaNet doesn't balance around that right now, and they should. Because if they don't, the kind of, like, medium DPS, high utility builds are always going to outperform everything. Really good example of that is your favorite friend, Scourge. Because that is exactly what it does. It breaks everything. Scourge, very good example indeed. But yeah, there you go. Exactly, Bick. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on here, right? But wow, I mean, I've got to say, this is a glorious day for Guild Wars 2. A glorious day for Guild Wars 2, indeed. I've just been sent some junk in the mail, and what a perfect place to round out this discussion. I mean, what a blog post. Seriously, guys, let me know what you think. I want to know. Let's get some discussion going about this. And let everyone know. Okay, it took a long time. We've been waiting for it for a little while now. But it looks like Guild Wars 2 is about to finally activate. I kind of got that feeling, that spark with this whole expansion. Ender Dragons felt different. It did feel magical compared to Path of Fire. A big step up. The design that went into this, the way it's been put together, like the new philosophy of strike missions, right? The way that they've been designing the content, you know, the story, the writing, everything just felt so just invigorated, right? It felt just full of energy, full of life with the game, with the way everything has been put together here. But this is the final confirmation that we needed. 4th expansion on its way, massive content releases. Guild Wars 2 is back. But yeah, that's it. That's the news, gamers. Get ready for the future of Guild Wars.